Hey everybody, Chris Thompson here, and today I'm going to share with you my kitchen redesign project at UNC Rex Healthcare in Raleigh. First things first, let's talk a little bit about UNC Rex Healthcare. It was founded in 1894, so it's over 120 years old. It is a private, not-for-profit healthcare system, and within that system they offer acute care. They have 5 wellness centers, 2 skilled nursing facilities for rehabilitation and long-term care. They have urgent care centers, emergency care, and dedicated centers for things like cancer, bariatrics, neurology, pain management, a women's center, and others. So they do have a lot of services. It's a big system, UNC Rex Healthcare. Specifically, I spent my time at UNC Rex in Raleigh. They employ over 5,400 individuals and treat over 34,000 people a year. And this is a 433 general acute care bed hospital. So when you look at the food services as a whole at Rex, it's self-operated, meaning there's no management company like a Sodexo responsible for operations. Rex themselves is responsible for menu design, kitchen layout, purchasing, human resources, hiring, firing, everything that goes into a food service operation. Rex does themselves. It is a cost center, meaning that they do not directly add to the profit of the organization, and it actually costs the organization money to operate. So the operating budget for food services is $3 million a year. $2.5 million of that's for food, $500,000 for supplies. In that budget, they expect a 3% annual growth for that budget, and they target a 40% food cost. And this budget is tracked daily by the food service managers. So the facilities at Rex, they have 3 cafes, each with their own kitchen area. These cafes are for employees, families, and visitor meals. There are 3 different cafes spaced out around the hospital. They each offer their own different thing. The Courtyard Cafe, seen in the picture there, has a cold buffet, a homestyle classics, a grill area, a chef's signature station, and then a Be Well section for the healthy meal of the day. The Corner Cafe has pizza, sushi, make your own sandwiches, make your own salads, and ready-to-eat items. And then the Cardia Cafe is a Mediterranean cafe inside the heart and vascular unit. The majority of my time was spent working with the At Your Service patient room service program that they have, which is patient meals. The average hospital census is 350 to 400, and they serve anywhere from 800 to 1,000 meals a day, sometimes more. It really just depends. And there are a lot of people that go into the operations of UNC Rex Food Service. You have your vice president, who's at the top. You have your director of food and nutrition services, who's kind of responsible for everything. Your retail business operations manager, who operates primarily in those cafes. Your patient services manager, who works primarily with the At Your Service patient tray line and delivery. You have your clinical nutrition manager, who is responsible for all of the registered dietitians, the nutrition assistants inside the diet office, and the site managers who are in places like the long-term care facilities. You also have an executive chef who operates out of the UNC Rex Raleigh campus, and sous chefs in each kitchen. You have a staff assistant working directly under the director of food and nutrition services, who's kind of a jack of all trades. She does what's needed when needed. And then you have support staff. Your retail coordinators are the managers inside of those 3 cafes. Your room service coordinators are the managers on the tray line. You have your patient service workers who work on the tray line, and your retail food service workers who are like your cashiers, keep the cold buffets stocked, and work at the hot buffets in the cafes. So most of my time was spent with the At Your Service menu. So my redesign is for the At Your Service section of the kitchen. And the At Your Service menu, just to go into a little bit more detail, is offered from 6:45 a.m. to 6:45 p.m. It's a limited menu outside of normal hours. And they are a conventional and a cook-serve food service system. It's conventional in that some of the foods are made ahead of time, held hot or cold for a short period, and served when ordered. And then they also have a cook serve type of food service program there for things like salmon or chicken or omelets, where something is ordered and made to order and then sent out to the rooms. They have a 7-day rotating menu with a huge variety of other add-ons that you can throw in there. I won't go through the whole list on the right there, but as you can see, they have made-to-order omelets, 4 daily soup specials, daily entree specials, and that number can vary from 1 to 3 to 4, and 23 dessert offerings, which it's a hospital, so I don't want to have too much dessert and offer too many different kinds of desserts, but it just kind of shows the variety of what they offer there. So when you're designing a kitchen and redesigning a kitchen, what are some goals to have in mind? You want to support a high level of efficiency and productivity. And in that, what do I mean? I mean, does it complement the flow in and out? So when carts are coming back in from making patient meal deliveries, is that getting in the way of anything? When carts are moving out, is that getting in the way of anything? So are the paths that workers are walking physically in the kitchen, do they cross? Well, is there a chance for anybody to get in the way of anybody else? We need to minimize operating costs. Efficiency and productivity is going to impact operating costs. We want to prepare the highest quality product as possible. Does the layout allow us to produce and deliver our product quickly? Because the faster that we do it and the more accurately that we do it, the fresher the product is going to be, and hopefully the higher the patient satisfaction will be as a result. And is there enough space for safe and effective and efficient use of the equipment? And how easily can things be cleaned? Are the convection ovens too close to each other and makes it hard for you to clean them? Things like that. So just keeping in mind safety, ease of cleaning, the flow of how everything works. Are you bouncing around from one station to another, or do you find that you're kind of smoothly flowing down the line in an organized fashion? So what we're going to do now is look at the current kitchen design. And if you look at the top half, so your 2 steam kettles, your grill, your omelet station, your prep table, your steamer, combi oven, stovetop, another combi oven, and then right down below that, your warmer, steam table, etc. This is all the production side of the kitchen. And then underneath that, condiments, silverware, trays, cold storage, all of this down here on the bottom half is where those food service workers are going. They are taking the food from underneath the heat lamps, putting it on a tray, sending it down, throwing all the other items onto it, loading into carts, and then those carts are then taken out for delivery at the exit and entrance down in the bottom left. So that's the current design. So what are some pros and cons of this current design? Pros, there's a large amount of space in the kitchen, so there is room to move things around. The current layout does support the flow of meal delivery carts, like I talked about earlier. The paths of workers do not cross unless somebody runs out of something and needs to go to the storage to get an extra item. Close proximity to that storage, so they can quickly go and get what they need when they need it. Management is right there, so management can see what is happening out on the floor at any given moment, and can jump out there to lend a hand if needed. The nutrition offices are right there as well and can see what's going on. In addition, if there's a special order that can't be typed into the ticketing program, those nutrition assistants can go out to the floor, tell a sous chef what needs to be done, and that special request can be made without interrupting the flow. So some cons that I'll talk about a little bit more detail on the next slide is that the starter wastes valuable time gathering silverware, and the expediter is responsible for gathering some cold items, which slows them down. So on this areas of improvement chart, I have highlighted in purple that silverware suggestion, and in red, that cold hold refrigerator suggestion. So first, starting with the purple, the silverware is not right next to the starter. So when that starter is grabbing food from underneath the heat lamps on the steam table, she or he has to walk over to the silverware, put it in a napkin, grab their condiments, and then walk back over to the tray and put the tray together. So by moving that silverware from where it currently is to right next to the starter, you will see that that starter will not have to move as much and can save a little bit of time. Going back to the previous slide, looking at red, we have the cold hold right here. The expediter is currently responsible for gathering items from that red cold hold, while these 2 cold workers are gathering items from these 5 cold holds. My second suggestion for the redesign is to move that cold hold down with the other 5, making it the responsibility of those 2 cold workers to gather all cold items, which will effectively reduce the responsibility from the expediter and allow the expediter to work a little bit more quickly, as they have a very important job double checking, triple checking trays, and loading up carts before they get sent out for delivery. So in summary, the 2 changes that I would make would be to move the silverware from next to the condiments to next to the starter, and move that 6th cold hold refrigerator next to the other 5. And with that shift of physical location, also a shift in responsibility from the expediter to the cold workers, to free up a little bit of time for the expediter. So what will this new design accomplish? It fits within a tight budget. No new equipment or major renovations are required. It's simply just moving 2 stations around, and everything is in place for that to be done, electricity, etc. This will reduce the time spent starting a tray by the starter, as the silverware is closer to that starter, and we can get the ball rolling a little bit faster, and we can pump out trays a little bit quicker. And it's also a reduction in time spent to finish the tray. So the expediter has 1 less responsibility, which will give them a little bit more time to finish the tray, load up the carts, and get them out for delivery. And hopefully this is going to reduce the time it takes to build a tray and get that tray delivered to our patients, and will have an impact on patient satisfaction because they're getting a hotter, fresher meal. Thank you, everybody, for your time today. I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.